This meeting is being recorded.
Guys, please check your audio and video settings, please. Guys, everyone, both online and offline student, please check your audio and video. Am I audible, guys? That's good. In other day's class, I was talking about importance of the batch processing. Okay, let's see. Other day I have given introduction of batch processing. Rajan, everyone observe. Spring here, common topics here. What is there, guys? Spring Boot batch processing. Yeah, Spring Boot batch. Yeah, batch processing intro. Open this. Yeah, we discussed about different states of Spring Data JPA entity object first. After that, we discussed about various use cases, right, guys? Various use cases of batch processing. And lastly, I have given conclusion. Shall we summarize? Batch processing is all about reading huge amount data from source batch by batch, processing it as needed, and writing to destination place, writing to huge amount of data to destination place batch by batch. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. Reading huge amount of data from the source batch by batch, processing the data as required, and writing to the destination as required. Are you getting my point here? Come on, everyone. Super. Spring batch or batch processing or Spring Boot batch. Clear? Yeah. Spring batch is given as what? Which already we discussed all this basic stuff, guys. We discussed about use cases also. And we have come to one conclusion. What is the conclusion? If your application is dealing with MBs and GBs data, okay, and manipulate data, then you can manipulate the data using what? Spring JDBC or Spring Data JPR, Spring ORM, Hibernate. While dealing with the college or university students info, we take the support of what? This concept. Next, if the data of the project is in what? GBs and TBs, then store data in database software and manipulate it through what? Batch processing with the support of what? Plain JDBC or Spring JDBC or Spring Batch. Okay, for here, Spring Batch is the best one or not, guys? Come on. Bank data or financial organization data or what? Insurance organization data. Yeah, GBs and TBs data, and you want to process. Then we have to go for Spring Batch. Next, if data is in what? Petabyte, genotype, and more bigger data. Huge amount of data that cannot be stored in what? A regular database software, regular things. Then we have to think about going for what? Big data frameworks or not, guys? Like Hadoop, Spark, this kind of things we have to use it or not, boss? While dealing with the Facebook data, Google data, we have to take the support of this, right? FB kind of application uses multiple storage technologies at a time in single project. For FB logging, database software. For FB post or reminders, they take the support of what? Big data frameworks. They simply take the support of what? Big data frameworks like Hadoop, guys. Big data frameworks like Hadoop, right? Super. Spring Batch high level. What is that? Spring Batch high level architecture. Application. Programmer code the application. Spring Batch core, Spring Batch infrastructure. Okay, Spring Batch infrastructure means what? The ready-made facilities that Spring Batch is giving. Spring Batch core deals with what? Set of predefined classes which can be used by application. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. Application means what? Programmer code this. Spring Batch core, basic API of what? Batch processing. Batch infrastructure. That means the basic infrastructure that is required for what? Batch processing. In Spring or Spring Boot batch processing, while reading or writing data or to from different resources or destination, we can use different APIs like what? JDBC, Spring JDBC, Spring Data JPI, IO Stream, XML API, JSON API. Array, source is database, JDBC API, Spring Data JPI. Source is XML API. Source is JSON document, JSON API. So while writing also same story in a boss. So that means batch processing internally tied with what? Other persistence technologies and APIs are not, guys. Internally tied with what? Other persistence technologies and what? APIs. Spring Batch or Spring Boot Batch provides abstraction on what? All the above said APIs to simplify the programming. To simply and literally simplify the programming, we can take the support of this or not, guys. Come on, everyone. Okay, guys. Now listen carefully. A basic look of Spring Batch application. First, there will be job launcher, guys. We can link this job launcher with the scheduler. Every month once, every month twice, every week once, like this. That will create a job. That means the task to be completed, right? Yeah, this is the major work, guys. In that one, steps will be there. One star. One job can have one or more stars or not, guys. One job can have one or more steps. What do you say, guys? One job can have one or more steps. Every step deals with what, guys? One item reader, one item processor, one item writer. One item reader, one item processor, one item writer. Item reader reads from source repository. Perfect. Item processor will what? Will perform filtering, ordering, calculation, sorting, everything. It will process the data, guys. Come on. Reads from What is that? Database software will filter or categorize or order the records. Whatever output came after processing, that will be given to writer. Writer writes to the destination or not, guys. Okay. Job launcher, either manually run the job or through scheduling run the job. Okay. Job launcher creates the job, main task to perform. So for example, transfer money is the main task. It is having two sub operation: withdraw, deposit. For withdraw step 1, withdraw step 2. Like this job will contain steps na. Every step will read the data from source, will process the data, and will give the data to writer. Writer writes to the destination or not, guys. The writer, this is the basic main architecture diagram, boss. Come on, everyone. Okay, for example, I have a task. LIC policies are there in database software. Okay, read them batch by batch and try to understand whose due date is there in this month and send reminders to them. Okay, fetching LIC policy details from database software, identifying the due dates, writing to Excel sheet, task 1. Okay, na? Task 2, reading from Excel sheet and sending SMS message, task 2. That means main task is sending reminders. Subtask is what? Reading from database, identifying the due date, if they're finding, writing to Excel sheet. Second task is what? Reading from Excel sheet and triggering SMS messages. Simply triggering what? SMS messages. Let us assume every month second this job launcher is scheduled to create a job. Job of what? Sending SMS message to due date customers, right? Yeah, this job will have how many steps, guys? 2 steps. In this example, 2 steps. Step 1, reading from database to Excel sheet. Step 2, reading from Excel sheet to reading from Excel sheet to what is that, guys? Reading from Excel sheet to reading from what? Excel sheet and triggering the SMS message. Reading from Excel sheet and triggering the SMS message. This is the another task what we are having or not, guys. Come on, everyone. This is the another task that we are having or not, guys. Come on, everyone. Yeah. Job launcher creates the job. Job launcher creates the job. And this job will have one or more steps or not, guys. One or more steps or not. Yeah. 2 steps I am going to take. What is database to Excel sheet? 1 step. Excel sheet to SMS triggering. 2nd step. Every step will have what? One reader, writer, processor. Step 1, read from database. Step 2, identify due date customers. Nice. Step 3, write to the destination. Simply what, guys? Write to the destination. Whatever listed out there, they are right to the destination. Right, boss? Come on, everyone. Next step. Next step. Next step, item reader reads from Excel sheet. Okay. Validates the phone number. Who found correct, few numbers correct, few numbers wrong. Whatever numbers found correct, they will be given to writer. Writer writes to the destination or not, guys. Simply writer writes to the destination or not, guys. Come on. See, check it out. See, any application of batch processing, this is the basic architecture, guys. We identify the job, we identify the number of steps involved. For every step, we specify input to read, input to process, and output to write. 10 steps are there for everything, we do the same thing. 20 steps are there for everything, we do the same thing. Come on, boss. Come on, everyone. Okay, that's great. Job launcher launches the job either manually or using what? Scheduling. Okay, sir, everything you explained, but you forgot to explain what is job repository. But you forgot to explain what is a job repository. Are you getting my point there? Yeah, whatever tasks are happening will be recorded to job repository. What is job repository? When no database is there, okay, it will use in-memory job repository. That means Spring Boot memory only it will use. If any database software is there, in the database software, so many tables will be created, keeping track of various activities that are happening. Keeping track of what? Various activities that are happening. Are you understanding my statement, my dear? Come on, everyone. Keeping track of various tasks that are happening, boss. Come on. Super, guys. Tell me. Job launcher creates the job, and this job will have one or more steps, and every steps will be linked with one item reader, one item processor, one item writer. A reader reads from source, writer writes to destination. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. Okay. Yeah, check it out, guys. Job launcher launches the job either manually or using what? Scheduling. Perfect. Every job contains one or more steps. Every step contains one item reader, one item writer, one item processor. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. Super. Item reader reads each item from source repository and gives that item to item processor for processing. At the end, processed item will be written to what? Designation repository using item writer. Designated repository using what? Item writer. All activities of job launcher, job step will be kept tracked by job repository, which is in memory repository by default. What is that, guys? Which is in memory repository by default. Are you understanding my statement, boss? Yeah. What job created, what step created, what is the job ID, what is the job creation time? All this information will be kept tracked in what place, guys? Job repository. If any database is not database, in database you will get special tables acting as a job repositories. If no, then it will work with what? In memory job repository. Fine, guys. Come on, everyone. To understand this in a better manner, come on. Initially, lot of theory will be there, guys. Okay, because you have to habituate to this. I wantedly taken one job having multiple steps need, having need of multiple steps. Job LIC identifying beneficiaries and sending email messages to the branches and customers. Okay, what is the step one here? From database, it will identify beneficiaries, matured people, policy matured people every month one time. And writing them to whom? Okay, Excel sheet. Is that step one? Step two, reading from Excel sheet and sending email messages. Step two. Step three, reading from Excel sheet, sending 1 minute, sending email messages to customers, one branches, one step. Reading from Excel sheet and sending email messages or SMS messages to what? Customer. That's the second one. That's the second task to perform or not, guys? Come on, everyone. Yeah, tell me. This is the job. Total how many steps are involved, guys? Three steps are involved. Total how many steps are involved, guys? Three steps are involved. Identifying what? Beneficiaries. Simply identifying what? Beneficiaries. Item reader read from what? Database software. Item processor identify beneficiaries are matured people. That means policy matured people. Item writer write to the Excel sheet, writes to the Excel sheet matured policy info. Write to the Excel sheet matured policy info. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. Yeah. Item reader reads from database software. Processor identify beneficiaries are matured people. Write to the Excel sheet matured policy info. What is that, guys? Matured policy info. Super. Yeah, this is step one. Step two, sending email messages to branches. Item reader reads from Excel sheet. Item processor gets the email ID from the entire information. Item writer send email messages to branches or not, guys. It simply sends email messages to branches or not, guys. Come on, everyone. Super. Step number three, send emails to customers. Item reader reads from Excel sheet, gets the email IDs, processor will get the email IDs. Come on. Item writer sends email messages to customer or not, guys. One job can contain one or more steps. Each step contains what? One item reader, one item writer, one item processor. One item reader, one item writer, item processor. I think you got the basic idea, boss. First, use a job launcher to create or launch a job. Make sure that this job is having what? Make sure that this job is having what? One or more steps. Okay. Subtasks. Task, subtask. Every subtask is linked with what? One reader, one writer, one processor. Reader reads from source. Processor process it. And writer writes. Reader reads from source. Processor process the thing. Writer writes. Clear, my dear? Got the point, my dear? I want reply, boss. Come on, everyone. Okay, guys. Yeah. Now, the question that eats our brain is we need to know how to develop these readers, writers, and processor practically, na boss. Come on. Super, guys. Okay, guys. Generally, we work with predefined item writer classes. Yeah, listen. This is the package, guys. All item readers are implementation class of item reader. All item processor implementation class of item processor. All item writers are what? Implementation class of item writer. Readers are implementation class of item reader. Processor is implementation class of item processor. Writers are implementation class of what? Item writer. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on, everyone. See, here it is their input. It takes input and output as the generic. What you are passing, what it has to give, right? All these are interfaces, guys. T for template kind of thing. So luckily, all readers are implementation class of this one. Generally, we work with predefined item writer classes, predefined item reader classes, because they are designed to deal with what? Different types of, different types of, what is there, guys? Source or destination. Different types of source or destination repositories with different types of data format. But we always develop what? Item processor manually. We always try to develop item processor manually. Convinced, my dear? Most of the time we work with ready-made item processor because what you want to process, what you want to filter, what you want to validate, what you want to order. That's completely your choice. But reading from database, reading from Excel sheet, reading from text file, reading from XML file, reading from JSON file, okay, nothing going to have fixed formats, right? So we work with what? Ready-made writers, ready-made readers, but we always deal with what? Custom item processor. So here are the list of item readers now, boss. Flat file item reader. It is there to read data from CSV file, comma separated values file, nothing but Excel file. Or Excel sheet is nothing but Excel file, or Excel sheet is nothing but CSV file. Excel sheet content is nothing but what, guys? Excel sheet content is nothing but CSV file, nothing but text content. Flat file item reader, stacks event reader to read from XML file, stored procedure item reader to read from database, guys. JDBC paging item reader to read data from database software page by page. Mongo item reader to read from what? MongoDB database, guys. Neo4j item reader to read data from what? Neo4j item reader, Neo4j database, boss, nothing else. To read data from Neo4j DB. What is that, guys? Neo4j DB. Yeah. Predefined item writers are, come on, flat file item writer, stacks event item writer, stored procedure item writer, JDBC paging item writer, Mongo item writer, Neo4j item writer. Right, guys? Come on, everyone. These are different writers. I am giving more writers over here. Don't worry. Here, more writers are, more readers are. Hibernate cursor item reader, JDBC cursor, JPA paging, JSON item reader. Come on. Yeah, Kafka item reader. Like this, we have multiple options or not, boss? Come on. We definitely got multiple options here or not, guys? Come on, everyone. Yeah, Neo4j is one NoSQL database. Neo4j is one NoSQL database to read from that Neo4j. Writers also, different types of writers are there or not there, guys. So luckily we deal with ready-made readers, ready-made writers. Processor we always develop manually. Yeah, yeah. Now listen. Processor is user defined. Readers and writers are predefined. Come on. Super. Yeah. In item reader, what is the common method? Read method. Because all item reader classes directly, indirectly should implement what? Item reader interface. What is the method we are going to have to read each item? Read method. What is the method we are going to have to read each item? Read method. Okay, guys. Item writer T. Write. List extends what? Item. Write list extend item. Now listen. I have taken batch size or what is that? Chunk size 10. Reads 10 items one by one. Process 10 items one by one. But gives 10 processed item at a time to writer. After all, I have taken batch size as what? N. If batch size is 3, reads 3 items one by one, writes, process 3 items one by one, but writes to all the 10 items at a time to writes all the 10 items at a time to what destination. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, check it out. Reader is having read method. Writer is having write method. Next, processor is having process method. Observe very carefully. Reader is dealing with input. What TV pass? Input. Writer is dealing with what? Listity. That means bulk items it will write at a time, na that one. Processor is matching input and output or not. Processor is simply matching input and output or not. Come on, everyone. Processor. That means I of the reader, O of the writer should match, guys. I of the reader, O of the writer should match. The T element of item reader must match with what? I element of item processor. Similarly, O of the item processor must match with what? T of the item writer. The I and O item processor can be same or what? Can be different. Okay. Item reader reads one item at a time from source repository. Item processor process the read item given by reader. Suppose your chunk size is 2. Reads one item, process one item. Reads one item, process one time. Then it will think about writing both the items to destination. Suppose chunk size 10. Okay, 10 times read item, 10 times process item, right? 10 times read item, 10 times what? Process item. 10 times read item, 10 times what? Process item. But at a time, batch size is 3 na boss. It will write to the destination. It will definitely what? Write to the destination. Are you comfortable, guys? Come on, everyone. Okay, now listen. I want to read from database. I want to validate matured policy holder. Whatever policy holder's information has come, I want to write to Excel sheet. I have taken chunk size 10. What happened? 10 items, it will read from database one after another by calling read method for 10 times. 10 time process method will be called by each time one item will be processed. Total how many items are processed? 10. Okay. Now, to the writer, it will give all the 10 items at a time for writing. Don't think that it will give item by item to item writer for writing, boss. No, no. It will give all the 10 items to item writer and item writer writes it. That is what we do in regular life also, na? You just observe the way roti preparation happens, guys. Okay. One by one, they prepare that roti gola. That is called dawa, right? Roti dough, right? One by one, they will prepare flat roti. Yes, na boss. One by one, they will fry it. But while delivering to destination, they take bulk. Yes, or no, na? While delivering to destination, they will take bulk or not, guys. Anywhere the same story. Anywhere the same story. Fry, yeah, fry means what? What is that called? In that is called roasting, roasting of chapati, yeah? Whatever it is. They don't fry, they will go for what? They roast it, right? Mm. Okay. Fry will be, I should fry you, Chicky. Mm. Yeah, I did not get the proper word. That's why I said what? Fry rat dirty fellow. Okay. Mm. No, if you come to me, I will fry you and I'll leave it. This offer only for you. but you don't have dare to face me. Leave it. Okay. Mm. Array, a reader is reading input na I. I means input. So their input means T. But in processor, what I have taken I and O as the generic. Okay, I must be matching with what? T of the reader. O must be matching with what? T of the writer. Then only a processor will read item, input item, process it and generate output item. After processing received item from item reader, the item writer can give either same object with modified data or unmodified data or different object with same data or modified data to the destination. Any possibility is there. Suppose my requirement is processor should filter it. Filter means what happened? Number of items will reduce, but same items will come, right? No, my task is what is that? Modifying the data or adding the extra data. Basic is student information is coming. Processor should calculate average, total and average. Processor should calculate what? Processor should calculate what? Total and average. Okay, then modified the object is going or not, guys? Or sometimes we take one type of input, we do conversion to another type of object and we pass that one to destination or not, guys? We simply pass that one to destination or not, guys? Come on. See, after processing the received item from item reader, the item writer can give either same object with what? Modified data or unmodified data, or different object with the same data or what? Modified data or destination. Case 1. Item reader gets a student object from source. What is that? College DB. What DB, guys? Item reader gets student object from what? Source. What is that, guys? College DB. Item processor conducts the interview and converts eligible student object to employee object. Only eligible. Who is having good percentages, good marks, good interview marks, all this stuff, right? Yeah, student object to employee object. Now input is what? Student. Output is what? Employee. Input student will come from student reader and output employee will go to destination. Item writer gets list of employee object to write to destination. I already said one point. Reading wise, one item at reading. Processing wise, one item at a time. But writing wise, it will do bulk writing. It simply do what? Bulk writing. Now tell me here. Input and outputs are different, na? What is input? Student. What is output? Employee. Coming as what? Input. Going as what? Output. Interesting, na boss. Come on, everyone. Right. Case 2. Item reader gets policy holder object from what? Source. Item reader gets policy holder object from what? Source. That is what? LICDB. Item processor checks payment schedule of policy holder is there in the current month or not. If not there, give nothing to item writer. Otherwise, give same policy holder object to item writer. I read each policy holder record, checks due date is there in this month, no, ignore. Not yes there. Okay, select it and give to whom, guys? Item processor. Here filtering is happening. What item processor is doing is what? Filtering work. Item writer writes list policy holder objects to the destination, nothing but Excel sheet. Yeah, here what is the processor work? Processor work is not to create new object or not to modify existing object data. Here processor work is simply what, guys? Filtering the records and sending to destination. Filtering the records and sending to what? Destination. Convinced, my dear. Come on. Okay, in this case, you observe what is the input policy holder, what is your processing policy holder, what is the output policy holder. Input, processing, and output both are going to be same or not, guys? So here input and output objects are matching or not matching, boss? In previous example, what we are reading is student. After processing, it is converted into employee. While insertion is again what? Employee. While insertion also, it is again what? Employee. Yeah. One more diagram, guys. Process sequential. This is called sequential flow diagram. It will tell order of execution. Okay. From source, reader reading first item, then next item, reader reads the next item. Okay. It is reading one item at a time, no? Yes. Processor is processing how many item? Process the item, process the item. Process the item, process the item. Come on, my dear. I want reply from you people. Come on. Reader reads. Processor process. Processor process. Reader reads. Processor process. See, it is processing one item at a time now, boss. Reader reads item 1, reads item 2. Process item 1. Process item 2. Process item 1. Process item 2. What is the chunk size, guys? Nothing but batch size. What is the chunk size? 2. That's why one time reading, two time reading, one time processing, two time processing. Because chunk size is what? 2. Okay, now at a time, how many items we will go to this chunk size, guys? 2 items. Because list items out according to the how many items? 2 items. And it will write those list item to destination repository or not? It will write those list item to destination repository or not, guys? Yeah. Reader is because chunk size, if chunk size is 5, reader reads how many times? 5 times, one by one at a time. Okay. Next one. Processor process each item every time. Next one. Writer writes to the destination. Writer simply writes to the destination. This is called sequential flow diagram. In which order sequence will happen? Reading one item, processing one item. Keeps aside, buffer something. Read a second item, process second item. Read third item, process third item. Read fourth item, process what? Fourth item. Right, boss? Come on, everyone. Okay, guys. Chunk size is nothing but batch size. On how many records you want to do batch processing each time. Suppose chunk size 100. It will try to read 100 records one by one. Okay. And it will try to process those 100 records one by one. Okay. Lastly, what is there, guys? Come on, everyone. What is there, guys? I want reply, my dear. Uh, will give these items to what, guys? Writer. And writer writes to the destination. Writer writes to the destination. Developer decides the chunk size nothing but batch size. Developer decides the chunk size nothing but batch size. Okay. Yeah. Step flow. Item reader reads first item from source, give to processor for processing. Same item reader reads second item from source, give to processor this one. After reading a number of items, once chunk size items are processed, suppose chunk size 3 items are processed. Chunk size 10 items are processed. I chunk size processed items to item writer, and they are returned to destination by item writer, and they are returned to destination by whom? Item writer. Convinced with me, guys? Come on, everyone. Okay, you got the basic one by one now, boss. Reading one by one, processing one by one, but writing, okay, bulk. Writing bulk wise. Okay, what is the bulk size? That is a chunk size, nothing but batch size. You joined in the institute one by one, right? You fill the form one by one, but you have been assigned to faculty in a bulk manner. You have been assigned to faculty in a bulk manner. So there also batch processing only happening or not? So you got the basic idea about this diagram, guys. Come on, everyone. I think this is unnecessarily, it seems. Let me delete and let me check. Yeah. Yeah. Let it be, guys. Yeah. Shall we open next document, guys? Yeah. Let's focus on how to work with these job objects. How to work with what job? Job represent main task. Steps represent subtask. And every step is linked with what? Reader, writer, process. Nothing else. Reader reads from source, writer writes to destination, processor process in the middle. The processor will simply what? Process in the middle. Okay, let it be, guys. Job represent work to be completed. Each job contains one or more steps. Minimum one step will be there. Array, can you think about job without any subtask, guys? No. Because there will be one or other task to complete. Now, boss. Yes. Next. Step means, step object means it is object of a class that implements step interface. Job object means it is object of a class that implements what? Job interface. Job represent total work to be completed, whereas step represent task or subtask of the job. Task or subtask of the job. Come on, guys. Job. Finding customers who are having due date in this month. Who are having due date in this month to renew policies and triggering SMS message. To renew policies and what? Triggering SMS message. This is my requirement. Step one, get all customer due date from database software to Excel sheet. How to divide the task? Step two, Convert Excel sheet data to MySQL DB table. Let us assume the application is able to collect the phone numbers only from what? MySQL data. Trigger SMS message. Read from MySQL DB and trigger SMS message. I hope you understood, guys. First one, proper one. Get all customers' data from database. Next, number two. Yeah, that will convert into Excel sheet. Convert Excel sheet data to MongoDB data and trigger SMS message to what? Yeah. Okay. Those that place, guys. Yeah, here is one diagram, guys. One job can contain one or more steps. Job like task. Job is like a task. Steps are like subtask. Job is like a task. Job is like a task, guys. Steps are like what? Subtask. Withdraw, sorry, transfer money job. What are the subtasks in that? Withdraw amount and deposit. Yeah, check it out, guys, how the things are happening here. Come on, everyone. We execute the job. Job execute the step. Step exit status, success or failure. Then step two, execute. That means all these steps will execute sequentially or not, guys. Exit status. Using that result, it will execute what? Step three. It's a sequential flow of the diagram or not, guys? Come on. Okay. The steps will execute. The steps will execute sequentially. The steps will execute sequentially, one after another. One after another. Definitely the steps will execute sequentially, one after another. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. Okay. Super, guys. Rahul, if you are facing network issue, you have to separate the issue. Yeah, this is Spring Batch launch environment, guys. How exactly a layered Spring Batch application looks like this. Okay, now listen. Wherever blue color are there, they are ready-made one, guys. What is that? Application architecture services. Wherever this light green shade is there, na? Okay, what is that? Custom. That means programmer should develop them. Okay, next black color. Application servers and virtual machine. Array. Underlying virtual machines and the hardware structure, guys. Hardware structure. Yeah. First one. End user one, end user two. Here is what? End user one. End user one, guys. Who knows? Another end user or same end user may be there also. Another end user or same user may be there here. Come on, everyone. Okay. Let's see what we can do maximum. Either through scheduling or through manual process. Scheduling means what? Some job script will be there. Job script is to automate the service. Manually means we generate the request or we execute the application normally. They are assuming minimum web application is there for investment. Okay. So here, what is that? Scheduler will launch, will use a JavaScript to run the job runner, or manually we give request, guys, right, boss? This job launcher, sorry, job runner can be linked with what? Job locator, and that will be there in certain location or not. Which job you want to execute, that information you have to pass through property file or some other file or not, guys. Job script also should be passed to application through a property file or XML file or not, guys. Come on. Okay. Job runner will create the job launcher. Array. Okay, job launcher will create the job. Job will create the steps. What is that? Steps. Each step can have reader, writer, processor. Your writer is nothing but what? Item processor. Okay, next one is what? DAO. Data access object class. What class, guys? Data access object. This is going to be what? DAO. So based on the processor, this will be linked with the DAO, and DAO interacts with what? Database software. Right. Who is keeping track of all the activities that are happening in job? Job repository. Okay. Once again, check it out the flow, guys. End user enable the scheduling to run the JavaScript, right, boss? Enable the scheduling to enable the JavaScript, automatic execution. Here manually use the request and job launcher will be activated. Okay, that will initiate what? Job locator. It will use some information from the property file, whatever it is. Okay, boss. That will create what? Job launcher. Job launcher will have 0 or more jobs, right? Okay. This job will talk with what? Step 1 or 3 jobs, right, boss? Step read the data from item reader, process the data, and writes the data to item writer. Okay, using DAO, the entire information is written to database or not. If any MongoDBs are there, if you are using MongoDB API anywhere, that will be written to MongoDB also. They will be written to MongoDB APIs also. Convinced, boss? Come on, everyone. Okay. The Spring Boot batch application is divided into 4 different concerns, guys. What is first one? Run tier. What is next one? Job tier. One is next one, application. Runtime is concerned with the scheduling and launch of the application. When product is typically used in this tier to get time-based what? Independent scheduling jobs, as well as what? Providing parallel regal processing capacity. Okay, runtime will deal with what, guys? Job, how job will be launched. Job tier. Job tier is responsible for overall execution of the batch job. It sequentially executes best steps, ensuring that all steps are in correct state and all appropriate policies are enforced. Right. Okay, that means job tier will define the task or not, guys. Come on. Application tier. Application tier continuous components requirement to execute the program. It contains specific module that address the required batch functionality, enforces policy around module extension. Okay, example, commit interval, capture, static stand, etc. Guys, these are the various options. We have got it or not? Come on, everyone. Yeah. Total how many tiers are there? Run tier, job tier, application tier, data tier. Data tier is related to database. Okay, we may get one weekend wasted. Okay. Next one. What is that? What is that? Run tier. I am talking about data tier. Data tier means what? Physical database. Application tier, where we write reader, writer, processor, our logics boss. Job tier. Its work is creating job and creating steps inside the job. Runtime, looking at what the how job will be started, how exactly job. This is a runtime, guys. It purely concentrate on how to start the job. Job tire, it's all about job launcher creating the job. Application tire, creating the steps, subtask, and linking with what? Reader, writer, processor. Data tire will manage the data or not, guys? Okay, guys, now listen. Once we add Springboard to starter batch, okay, one starter, guys, to the Spring batch, we automatically get related Spring batch processing through auto configuration file. And we will get some multiple Spring beans automatically through auto configuration process. What are those? Step builder factory object, which is required for step object. Step is very, very important object in the job builder factory required to create job. Wow. Okay, this one job object. A job launcher required to run the job. Required to run the job, guys. These three objects can be injected to our choice Spring Bean to get the required object to perform batch processing activities. Spring 3.x batch processing, we get only these objects auto configuration Springboard. And we need not to create these objects manually. They come automatically through auto configuration or not. Job factory, job launcher, transaction manager, create job, step object. We need to use two param constructor of job builder for this one, guys. 3 point text. What is there, guys? 3 point text. That is what we have to use it or not, guys. So final conclusion is what, guys? First I talked about what, guys? Writer. No. When you add starter, what are the things you will get? Step builder factory, job launch. Okay. Okay. Next one is what, guys? Item reader. Item reader are the classes in Spring Batch are implementation class of what? Item reader interface. What interface? Interface. We generally do not implement item reader. That means we need to develop custom writer. Spring Batch has provided multiple predefined and item reader. Already some predefined readers and writers are there. Who will read each item from source, guys? Read method. Read method of each item reader reads from source file, from file, database, etc. And you use either Spring object or model class object representing what? Each record object, each record one day. These are the various ready-made item readers are not, guys. To read from database by sending and execute JDBC cursor. For pagination, JDBC pagination. For those who believe, okay. What is that? Messaging based communication, guys. Come on. JMS. Cursor item reader to read Spring Data JPG. JSON to read from XML file. Kafka to read from separate one. Okay, this one. MongoDB reader. Okay, which is quite popular NoSQL database software, right? Yeah. Since all item readers predefined classes, configuring them with Spring Beans using what? At the rate bean method. Configuration class or main class. Since all the item readers are predefined classes, which we configure them as Spring Bean using at the rate bean method configuration class. Alright, we can also still configure them as Spring Bean na boss. Come on, everyone. Yeah, config package. See, I want flat file item reader. See, you have to keep at the rate bean method. You have to write this one, right? Then I am creating actual object, then I have to return it. Then you have to return. And this method indirectly creating what? This method is indirectly creating what, guys? Come on. One reader, and which is required to read data from what? Source repository, and writes to what? Destination as a model attribute. Simply writes to destination as what? Model attribute. Reader, you got the idea? In all those methods, what is common? Read method is common. Writer, guys. Okay, writer, guys. So it will, what it will do? We have a flat fall item writer. Okay, what is that? Biter item writer. Big names are there. We can take the support of them also, no problem. Yes. What is item writer, my dear? Come on, everyone. It is given to the chunk or batch size information to the destination. If in any example, chunk size is 3, all the 3 will go on at a time or not, guys. Reader reads one at a time, writer writes one at a time. Reader again reads one at a time, again reads one at a time. Again what? Reader reads, okay, something, one item at a time. Writer also writes one item at a time, but processor. Writer can write what? Bulk items. That's what I'm trying to say. So many writers are there. Since all item writers are predefined classes, we generally configure them at the rate bean method or main class. At the rate bean method is fine now, boss. Come on. I'm creating item JDBC batch item writer class object you are returning. You are simply returning. Use case. Convert CSV file data to int DB table after filter the record based on the bill count. What is that? Based on the bill count. That means I am giving small task, guys. From Excel sheet, you have to read the data and you have to filter into what is that? DB table record after filtering the record based on the bill amount. Yes, my dear. Come on, everyone. Item processor. It's the implementation class of so and so interface. In the interface only generics are there now, boss. Come on. Very limited ready-made item processor available. So we strongly develop custom item processor. We strongly develop custom. Array, sometimes I want to validate, sometimes I want to filter, sometimes I want to change the order, sometimes I want to sort. Sometimes I want to delete some extra things also. Okay, why all these things, guys? It's better to revise once in a while or not. Come on. Yeah. Ready-made item processor are. That means these are ready-made. Nothing is useful, guys. I of item processor must match with what? T of item reader. Similarly, O of item processor must match with what? T of item writer. T of item writer. Okay, check it out. Class implements item processor, string and object. String is the input, output is what? Customer. That means I'm trying to get inputs from end user in the form of what? String, or from source destination in the form of string. Some conversion, and that will be converted into object and will be sent. Okay, see what is the rate of this is a processor. What is the method? Process. What is their? Customer. And what is there? This logic conversion and its filtering. String to customer object only. So at the end we are writing customer object or not, guys. So here conversion activity is happening or not, guys. How can you take string from CSV file? CSV file, you know, everything comes as a string only. You take the string and assign it. Model class name to give the processed data as model class object to the destination. Okay, model class name to give the processed data as model class objects, okay, to the destination. Array, nothing but how to pass this one. Here, what is there, guys? String customer item processor they are thinking. Yeah. Yeah, this is the customer, guys. Tell me next one. CSV file. is giving to what? Batch application. Write of eligible item details to database software. Write the eligible items to database software, right? Yes. This is going to be agenda for our first application, guys. Nothing great. Yeah. Now we have to think about one by one object creation, guys. Come on. Yeah. Job is a predefined, its implementation class are popular. Okay, step is a predefined, its implementation class are not so popular. They are there means there. Its implementation class object of step interface. Each step object represents what? One task or subtask of job. Every step object must be linked with one or other project, one or other write object, one or other processor object. We generally create step object by using step builder factory that comes to Spring Boot application through auto configuration. It's coming to auto configuration at main class. Come on, guys. Okay, boss. Every scope of object must contain following details. Number one, step name. Number two, input output. Step three, reader. Step four, writer. Step five, processor. Okay, can you guess? This reader will be implemented by what? Popular interfaces. This writer will be implemented by whom? Popular interface. Processor. Processor is what? A small program. Nothing will be implemented. If not implemented, it will be wasted. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. We generally use @bean method in configuration class to create step object with step builder factory object above details are. Yeah. To the app configuration class, I'm injecting step builder factory, job builder factory, guys. Come on. To the so that they are ready for utilization or not, my dear. Okay, @processor is injected. Next, I'm looking to take a reader creation, flat file item reader. Okay, I'm looking to create step creation, guys. Step creation. Yeah, tell me. Create step one, return SB factory dot get step one logical name. String customer chunk 10. Okay, bulk size is 10. Reader, create reader. Processor, create processor. Writer, create writer. Lastly, build. That means we are dividing everything internally across the reader, writer, writer, and we are giving them to what step creation process or not, guys. Already in the diagram, job runner will launch the job launcher. Job launcher will run the job launcher will have a one or more steps, and each step is linked with one reader, one writer, one processor. That's why we are explicitly specifying them are not there. We manually and explicitly specifying them are not, guys. Come on. Here, what is happening? Lot of method chaining is happening now. Method dot method dot method dot method dot build. Lot of method chaining is taking place or not, guys? Come on, everyone. Yeah, I think we completed step object, guys. Every step object contains multiple details. Yeah. A typical step object contains these many details, guys. Okay, hexagon, this is reader object. Logical name, okay. Input and output, what you want to pass. Processor, okay, item processor name. Okay, next one, printer. Okay, a typical step object. A typical step object is having all these options, guys. Come on, everyone. Super. Yeah. Now listen. Then why are you teaching this item execution listener, guys? Okay. Item what? Execution listener. Array, while configuring step objects, we should also provide time to the end user, right? Okay, that's why. Okay, it will, in the running Java application, this will start ticking the clock. This will start ticking the clock. Okay. By implementing interface, we can perform event handling on job activities like when job started, when the job is completed, what's the issue of job completion, success or failure, and etc. In that creation of DOB object, we need what? Job execution listener interface. Job execution listener interface. Array, why you need to prepare this, guys? Okay, there are steps creation attached to this one. Okay, there is a need of executing, having a listener in order to run the job. So in order to run the job, I'm keeping all these things is ready, guys. Come on. A typical listener looks like this. There are two callback method before job and after job. Before job and after job. Before job, I'll keep track of date and time. After job, after losing job, again we keep track of date and time so that we can say what? These many days I worked for industry. Right, boss? Come on. Event is an action raised on the object or component. It's action, right? Event handling means what? Executing some logic when event is raised. Event listener provides event handling method. That means we can write event handling logic inside the event handling methods. Inside the event handling method. Job execution listener is an interface to perform event handling on the job object creation, distribution, and vice. Yeah, there are two methods now, before job and after job. This is purely for monitoring what's happening in this one. Okay, guys. And lastly, what is their job object? It's object of a class that implements job interface. Job defines work to be completed. Generally, one application contains one job object with one or more steps. To create job object, we use job builder factory that comes under what? Spring Boot batch processing through auto configuration process. Job object creation needs multiple details like to create a job object, first we need name, we need a listener, we need incrementer, we need starting step, next step, next step. Okay, like this we have a lot of options over here, guys. Come on. A typical Java object looks like this. Tell me here what is there. Logical name of dispatcher servlet. Job execution listener, guys. What listener? Hmm. What do you mean by job execution listener? This will provide clock support to our project or not, guys? Come on. No, logical name, execution listener. Execution listener means just now we completed that, no? Okay. Incrementer to specify order of executing steps. Starting step this. Okay. Next step this. Okay. Right. Next step is what? Step something. That is invalid object it found, guys. Then what happened? It won't be returned to patient. If any patient shows that information, they will take this entire what? The entire things will be settled, guys. Then this job object will be created. While creating job, what are the things? Logical name, job listener to enable monitor, incrementer. How this step IDs should be generated, incrementer. Next starting step, next step. Like this, lot of steps we can add. Come on, lot of steps we can add. But until it reaches the last step, everything will complete or not, guys. Come on. Yeah. Instead of taking separate configuration class, we can place them in what? At the rate bean method of main class, where at the rate Spring Boot application annotation is placed. Where at the rate Spring Boot application annotation is placed. Right, boss? Come on, everyone. Sample code. What is sample code, guys? What is sample code here? So my basic work is customer item reader, customer item processor, customer item writer. What is that, guys? Customer item reader, writer, processor. There are multiple Java classes enabling Spring Batch feature provide base configuration array. On the top of configuration class, what you have to add? Enable batch process. If you add enable batch processing, lot of batch processing capabilities will come automatically to standalone Spring project, right? If there are multiple Java classes to configure as Spring Bean, then place the at the rate bean method in separate configuration class, which is taken in the subpackage of Spring Boot application class. Or you are taking more configuration class having more Java beans configuration. Remove all of them. Directly configure in what? Main method. What method, guys? Main. Yeah, what is our application requirement? Our application requirement is read book item, add title, and publish through writer. First application, I'm not involving any database, anything. Read from source, maybe database CSV file. Okay, next one. Okay, next one, processing. Lastly, what, guys? Writing. Okay, if chunk size is 3, how many items will be written at a time? 3. Chunk size is 2, how many items will be written at a time? Understood, guys? Come on, everyone. Okay, now tell me. A typical batch config application will have a configuration class having step builder object to create steps further easily, job builder object to create job further easily. Come on, guys. Next, job execution listener and custom item processor. Remaining everything is ready-made or not, guys. Come on, guys. Got the point, my dear? Yes. Yeah, see, guys, whatever coming through auto configuration, we are taking there. Yes. And using at the rate bean method, I am configuring reader. Using at the rate bean method, I am configuring writer. If you don't want, if you want to use annotation based configuration at the rate component, at the rate service, that is more than enough, right? Not mandatory. Okay, here procedure is there to create the chunk, guys. I mean, it's a step. Name step 1, leave it. Return SB factory dot get step 1. SB factory dot get step 1, right? SB factory dot get step 1. Followed by that, what is there? String customer, chunk size 10, batch size 10. What's the reader? Create reader. What's the processor? Custom processor. What's the writer? Create writer. Or last, what is there? Build method. Whatever it is, whatever objects you create, some of them should be linked with what? Step creation. Some of them should be linked with what? Job creation. So right now we have shown how to create a step now, boss. Come on. Then job creation, guys. What is this? Job. Public create job 1, logical name, incrementer, listener, step 1, step 2, step 3, right? And build method. And what method, guys? Build method. This this incrementer increments a run dot id parameter type long from the given job parameter. If parameter does not exist, it will It will be initialized to 1. If parameter name can be configured, what guys? Can be configured using what? Set key method. Array is nothing is there. It generates what? Run dot id parameter of type long to supply what? Job parameters, guys. Nothing else, guys. Check it out. What's happening? Reader, writer, processor. Maybe user defined, maybe predefined. Most of the time, processor is user defined. So predefined means we configure them as at the rate bean method through configuration class, guys. Come on. Then what creation, guys? Step creation. Then what creation, guys? Job creation. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. Got the clarity? Here, lot of method chaining is happening or not, guys? Method chaining and builder design pattern is there. What is builder design pattern? Create complex object by using multiple simple objects step by step by defining a process and use that process to create similar objects of different category. Reconstruct a big house by constructing small item by defining a process so that I can use that process to construct any house in a boss. Right. Builder design pattern is purely about that Shah Rukh Khan advertisement, guys. Chota chota milate jao, bada banate jao. Some alcohol advertisement will come, na boss, or drinking water advertisement, whatever it is. Right? Did you ever seen that advertisement of Shah Rukh Khan? No? Okay, leave it then. Not seen, huh? Yeah, builder design pattern says you create a complex object by combining multiple small objects step by defining a process so that you can use that process to construct what? Different objects of same category. Here, lot of method chaining is there. Check it out. Job factory dot get job one. Yes. Incrementer. Some algorithm to execute the R step. Who is the listener? What is the start step? What is the second step? What is the third step to execute? Lastly, we are saying build na boss. What about step creation, guys? What about step creation? Yeah. Step one, right? Chunk size is how much? 10. Logical name, chunk size, input and output. Next, who is the reader? Custom. Create reader, one custom method. Processor, custom processor. Writer, create writer. Lastly, build method. Are you getting my point there, guys? Super. Yeah. So final conclusion. You remember this one in the mind. I hope we all remind all our programming. We can learn in the coding also. Job launcher will be there either manually or through scripting. We launch the job through job launcher. That will create a job task that will have one or more steps. Each step is linked with one reader, writer, processor. One reader, writer, processor. Are you getting my point, boss? Okay. Reader reads from source, processor process it. Processing means filtering, categorization, whatever it is, and gives to writer in a bulk number, writes to destination. Okay. So that means we should know how to configure reader. We should know how to configure writer. We should know how to configure what? Processor. And we should know how to configure step. We should know how to configure job. Step and job by supplying multiple inputs through method chaining or builder design pattern we can go for. Readers are predefined generally at the rate bean method. Writers are predefined at the rate. Processor is user defined. Come on. Either you can configure through what? At the rate component. Or that also if you want you can go for at the rate bean method. Right? Okay, keep all these things in mind. Take 5 to 10 minutes break. Okay, today what we do is we'll see summary of whole discussion, come on. And as a POC, what is the PO? Proof of concept, guys. As a POC, nothing but what? Proof of concept. We develop Spring Boot batch application in 2.x setup and 3.x setup. In 2.x and 3.x, almost same, guys. Only the thing is, the way we create job, the way we create step is differing in what? 2.x and 3.x. Whatever I talked, getting job builder factory through auto configuration, step builder factory through auto configuration is what setup, guys? I want reply, my dear. Come on. That is a 2.x, guys. Come on. Yeah. That is what? 2.x. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Right. 3.x, small changes are there. Objects are coming, but not exactly this. We'll understand that. We'll convert same application into 3.x. Only first application only we see in 2.x and 3.x. Once we are habituated to 3.x, we'll move straight away to what? 3.x. Okay, take a break of 5 to 10 minutes. And after that, we'll summarize all the things what we discussed so far. And first application as a POC, we try to read process right, okay, in 2.x setup and 3 point setup. After completion of first application only we have to disperse today. It may be 8:30 or 9 o'clock, right? Thank you. Come fast.